The West Philippine Sea, October 4th, 2025. As the first light of dawn stretches across the horizon, the vast expanse of ocean is calm, but beneath the surface, tension simmers. Dawn breaks over waters heavy with anticipation. The air is thick with uncertainty, every wave carrying the weight of unresolved conflict. The BRP Gabriela Silang, a Philippine Coast Guard vessel, cuts through the morning mist, heading toward Ayungin Shoal. Their mission, to deliver vital supplies and support to Filipino troops stationed on the remote outpost, a lifeline in these contested waters. Suddenly, massive Chinese Coast Guard ships loom on the horizon, intercepting the Philippine vessel and blocking its path with an intimidating show of force. The Filipino crew, outnumbered and outgunned, stands firm on deck. Their faces are set with determination, aware that their actions are being watched by the world. Chinese ships cut aggressively across their bow, horns blaring in warning. Radios crackle with sharp demands, ordering the Filipinos to leave what the Chinese claim as their territory. Unshaken, the Philippine captain responds with calm authority, asserting their right to conduct a humanitarian mission within Philippine waters, emphasizing the peaceful intent of their journey. The world watches live as Chinese crews prepare water cannons, the threat of escalation hanging in the salty air. Cameras capture every tense moment, broadcasting uncertainty to millions. International news channels break into regular programming, their anchors urgently reporting on the unfolding maritime standoff. Analysts debate the risks, speculating on possible outcomes and the fragile balance of power in the region. In capitals around the world, Manila, Beijing, Washington, diplomats scramble into urgent meetings, racing against time to prevent a dangerous escalation that could ripple far beyond these waters. On board, the Filipino crew waits in tense silence, eyes fixed on the gray hulls ahead. Each sailor knows they represent not just their ship, but the hope and resolve of an entire nation. The sun climbs higher, casting long shadows over the standoff. With every passing minute, the tension only mounts, the world holding its collective breath. Across the globe, millions tune in, expecting a tense but ultimately predictable end. Another chapter in a long-running dispute. But the standoff drags on, the minutes stretching into hours. The clock ticks, each second amplifying the uncertainty and the stakes. The Filipino crew refuses to back down, their resolve unwavering. They stand their ground, determined to fulfill their mission, no matter the odds. Around the world, people watch and wait, the tension palpable. The fate of the standoff, and perhaps the region, hangs in the balance. No one is prepared for what happens next. In a moment, the situation will change, and the world will be forced to confront the consequences. The next shockwave in this unfolding crisis doesn't come from Washington or Beijing, as many might expect. Instead, it erupts from the heart of Pyongyang, North Korea's enigmatic capital, catching the world completely off guard. In a rare and forceful broadcast, North Korea's state media issues a scathing condemnation of China's recent actions in the South China Sea, breaking years of apparent unity between the two nations. Even more astonishing, Pyongyang openly declares its solidarity with the Philippines, commending the courage and determination of the Filipino crew involved in the standoff. This is a move that no analyst had predicted. Diplomats and foreign policy experts around the globe are left reeling. North Korea, long considered China's only formal military ally, has now publicly turned against its powerful neighbor, upending decades of regional alliances. In Manila, the announcement is met with a mix of disbelief, skepticism, and cautious hope. Many Filipinos question North Korea's motives, while others wonder if this could signal a dramatic shift in the balance of power. For the Filipino sailors stationed at sea, the news feels almost surreal. The idea of North Korea, a nation often seen as isolated and unpredictable, suddenly emerging as an unexpected ally is both bewildering and strangely reassuring. The declaration sends immediate shockwaves through the intricate web of global alliances, forcing governments and military strategists to reconsider their assumptions and next moves. In Beijing, Chinese officials are visibly unsettled as they face tough questions from the international press, publicly rebuked by a partner they once considered unshakable. The United States, long the dominant player in the region, now finds itself sharing the stage with a new and unpredictable actor. as North Korea's bold move changes the dynamics of the crisis. What began as a regional standoff in the South China Sea has now escalated into a complex global puzzle, with new alliances forming and old ones fracturing. Suddenly, the world's attention pivots to Pyongyang, as journalists and analysts scramble to interpret the motives and implications behind this unprecedented declaration. The rules of the geopolitical game are being rewritten in real time, with every nation now reassessing its strategy and alliances. North Korea has just made a move that no one saw coming, and the world is left to wonder what will happen next. To truly grasp the magnitude of Pyongyang's latest move, we must look beyond the headlines and understand the deep historical roots that bind North Korea and China together. This is not just a story of two neighbors, but of a complex, decades-old alliance shaped by war, ideology, and shifting global power. Consider the China-North Korea alliance, a relationship that has shaped the fate of the Korean peninsula for generations. Forged in the crucible of the Korean War and sealed in blood, their partnership was born out of necessity and survival. This bond was formalized in a 1961 treaty, a rare pact in which both sides pledged mutual defense. If one is attacked, the other is obligated to come to its aid. In practice, North Korea relies on China for nearly all of its trade, energy, and economic support. Without Beijing's backing, Pyongyang would struggle to survive. China also shields Pyongyang at the United Nations, using its veto power to block harsh sanctions and keep North Korea afloat on the world stage. Yet, beneath the surface, tensions simmer. The alliance is far from harmonious. Beijing quietly resents North Korea's relentless pursuit of nuclear weapons, which threatens regional stability and embarrasses China internationally. Meanwhile, Pyongyang resents China's attempts to exert control and limit its ambitions. The Kim dynasty's ideology of Juche, self-reliance, stands in stark contrast to its dependence on Beijing, creating a constant source of friction. Over the years, North Korea has purged pro-China officials from its ranks, signaling its determination to chart its own course. Pyongyang has also made overtures to other nations, seeking new partnerships and signaling its desire for greater autonomy on the world stage. The alliance, once thought unbreakable, is now revealed as pragmatic, driven by necessity, not unconditional loyalty. Pyongyang's recent support for the Philippines marks its boldest assertion of independence yet, a move that openly challenges Beijing's expectations. The so-called lips and teeth relationship, once described as inseparable, is now showing visible cracks. This is not just a diplomatic spat, it's a dramatic shift in the balance of power in East Asia, with potential consequences for the entire region. The world is watching closely, waiting to see how China will respond to this unprecedented challenge from its longtime ally. The old alliance is being tested as never before, and the outcome could reshape the future of Northeast Asia. North Korea's support for the Philippines isn't entirely out of nowhere. The two countries established diplomatic ties in 2000, part of Manila's Friend to All policy. A North Korean embassy quietly operates in Manila, facilitating low-level exchanges and limited trade. Filipino workers have even been employed in North Korean factories. The relationship is pragmatic, not political, focused on engagement, not alliance. Both nations share a history of seeking independence from superpower influence. The Philippines balances open diplomacy with compliance to UN sanctions. Despite challenges, the diplomatic channel has never closed. This quiet connection set the stage for North Korea's dramatic move. An unlikely partnership now thrust into the global spotlight. Sometimes, the most unexpected ties matter most in a crisis. Why would North Korea risk angering its only ally? Pyongyang wants to prove it's not China's puppet, asserting independence on the world stage. By siding with the Philippines, North Korea signals it's open to new partnerships and less reliant on Beijing. This move increases its bargaining power with both China and the US. Kim Jong Un is betting that both superpowers will now take him more seriously. The standoff offers a perfect stage. North Korea casts itself as a defender of sovereignty. It's a low-cost way to gain goodwill and reshape its image. In one stroke, Pyongyang embarrasses China and positions itself as a new power broker. It's a high-stakes gamble, but one with global impact. North Korea is playing for leverage, not just headlines. Is North Korea's move genuine defiance, or a coordinated act with China? Some suspect a good cop, bad cop routine to confuse rivals and test US reactions. But the evidence points to real defiance. China values face. Public rebuke from its only ally is a major humiliation. North Korea's language was unusually harsh, echoing its desire for autonomy. The move fits Pyongyang's long-standing quest for self-reliance. Kim Jong Un is seizing the moment to assert independence. He's betting China needs North Korea as a buffer more than vice versa. Beijing is furious, but unlikely to abandon Pyongyang. This is a high-risk, high-reward play for autonomy. The alliance is being rewritten in real time. This crisis proves alliances are fluid, not fixed. The North Korean declaration shatters old assumptions about Asian security. Power is now multipolar. Smaller states have more agency. The Philippines maintains ties with the US, engages China, and now receives support from North Korea. China's aggressive tactics are backfiring, pushing neighbors to seek new partners. North Korea's move is part of a broader trend. Nations recalculating interests, not bound by history. In this new era, opportunism and autonomy rule. The only constant is change. Every country must reconsider who its real friends are. Survival depends on adapting to shifting alliances. In global diplomacy, words can be as powerful as warships. North Korea's statement instantly reshapes the Asian strategic landscape. The standoff becomes a multi-sided crisis. China is put on the defensive. Pyongyang casts itself as a defender of the underdog, complicating the narrative. The Filipino crew, still outgunned, now feels less alone. North Korea's words become political reinforcement, a shield of diplomacy. This is asymmetric diplomacy in action. Small states using narrative to challenge superpowers. The balance of power is about perception as much as force. In this new world, words are ammunition. The crisis is far from over. The standoff continues. Will North Korea's support embolden the Philippines or provoke China? This is a lesson in the unpredictability of modern geopolitics. The future is unwritten. Alliances can shift overnight. What seems like a realignment may be a fleeting tactic. Nations' motives are layered and complex. For citizens, vigilance and critical thinking are essential. The world stage is dynamic. Unexpected actors can change everything. The only certainty is uncertainty. In this volatile world, staying alert is survival.